Good morning, Digit fam, and happy Avengers Review Day! Spoiler-free reviews are rolling out, as well as total spoilers if you happen to visit Reddit. And our first top story is about just that, so let's get into it. It is April 24th, 2019, and this is your Digit Daily. So, if I'm a typical internet user in 2019, I'm on cloud 9 when it comes to these reviews rolling out of IGN, CNET, and Ars Technica. They all validate my worldview in the most delicious ways. Gushing would be putting it mildly, but if I'm being totally honest with myself, all that positivity about Avengers Endgame makes me nervous as hell. I mean, it can't possibly be that good, right? Well, thank God for The Verge, then. And I'm not saying that The Verge panned the movie at all, but after reading several different news sites all clamoring to stroke the ego of the latest Marvel offering, reading anything that isn't a masterpiece of adulation almost reads like a hit piece. But it's totally not. It's a realistic look at the movie, and I appreciated it. But before you read any of these reviews, read what Laura Prudhomme of IGN wrote last night when she said, "This is a spoiler-free review of Avengers Endgame, but honestly, you probably still shouldn't read it. If you're already sold on this movie, go see it, come back, and let's compare notes. If you're not, read on for some reasons why you should be." As for my podcast review of Avengers Endgame, Twitter has decided that it would rather not have one from me, and honestly, after reading all these reviews, I kind of understand why. There's basically no chance I'd have anything compelling to say about the movie rather than the usual fanboy stuff I've been gushing for the past month. So this is a job best left to the professionals, and I thank you for also validating that opinion. But speaking of earth-shaking events, thanks to the Mars Insight lander, the first seismological event on another planet has been measured, courtesy of sensors on InSight designed to do just that. Now, it wouldn't be right to refer to these as earthquakes because, well, they're on Mars. But here we are on the lander's 128th Martian day, and we have a quake. What's interesting about this, aside from the fact that it's a seismological event measured from 33.9 miles away, that is that Mars doesn't have active plate tectonics. Plate tectonics describe the motion of the crust on top of the molten magma of the Earth. When they rub together, we get earthquakes. There's nothing rubbing on Mars, so what's with the shakes, man? Scientists theorize that the quakes come from the stress of the planet cooling, and I get that. I stress out when it gets cold, too. I feel you, Mars. I feel you, boo. Apparently, the Mars quakes fit the profile in terms of size and duration as moonquakes recorded by seismometers left on the moon during the Apollo missions. Moonquakes are rather weak, but can last up to an hour, which is pretty remarkable. Getting back to Mars, though, you can listen to the quake on YouTube because this is 2019, but why go to YouTube when you can listen to it right meow? Now, I only cut in the part that NASA described as a probable quake, so there's more to be heard on YouTube, so go check out the link in the show notes. So what have we learned today? Avengers is Earth-shaking, Mars is Mars-shaking, and the Apollo moon landings weren't faked, and hopefully at least most of us knew that last one already, and if not, it's probably best that we just move on right into the roundup! Speaking of moon and fakes, let's talk about moon mode. Moon mode is a camera mode on the Huawei P30. You'll recall that that's the phone that used the periscope lens that has a hybrid 50x zoom. Well, it also has a moon mode, which is designed specifically for taking photos, wait for it, of the moon. Here's the thing though, it looks like Huawei's camera splices in existing imagery of the moon into your photo. So what you end up with is kind of a piece of your shot and pieces of photos already taken. Basically, it's kind of like a photoshopped photo of the moon, and we're not really sure how we feel about that. I mean, it's the moon, it's not like it's changing that much, but on the other hand, it's not really your picture either. It's just flat out weird, Huawei, and stop it. Tristan and I were definitely on the same page yesterday because I read all of these stories before the daily even came out. Twinsies! Anyway, iFixit has some educated guesses as to how all those Galaxy Fold phones keep breaking down. Long story short, OLED screens are hella delicate, and the fold hinge has lots of gaps that let in things like dust and dirt and other things that tend to screw up hella delicate things. New battery tech may be on the horizon, and Robert Triggs breaks down the benefits and downsides to solid-state batteries. Put simply, you can charge them really fast, and the charge lasts longer, and the batteries themselves last longer, but there are some obstacles to overcome. One team at Columbia University has taken a step closer to overcoming those obstacles, but don't get too excited. Real change is probably still years away, because of course it is. Tim Cook wants you to spend less time on your iPhone, according to a talk that he gave at the Time 100 Summit. According to TechCrunch, Cook said, quote, "Apple never wanted to maximize user time. We've never been about that." He then goes on to say, quote, "What it has done for me personally is I've gone in and gutted the number of notifications," which is really easy to do on an iPhone since notifications are still a dumpster fire on iOS anyway, so that's really good advice. Of course, in the meantime, Apple is going to claim that it doesn't want to maximize user time within a month of announcing Apple TV, Apple Card, Apple Arcade, and Apple News? Yeah. Bloomberg posted a rebuttal to some of Elon Musk's claims made at his Autonomous Day birthday party the other day. Notably, when Musk asked the question, how could it be that Tesla, who has never designed a chip before, would design the best chip in the world? And the short answer is, you probably didn't. Musk also claimed that using LiDAR sensors in autonomous vehicles were a fool's errand because they're super expensive. Tesla plans to go all in on sight recognition, while competitors prefer a combination of many different types of sensors. And I kind of agree with that. Has Elon Musk never tried to drive when the sun was barreling into his eyes? I'd like more than one way to skin that particular cat if you don't mind, especially since computers will be doing the driving for me. And finally, just in case you were wondering when the future was going to hurry up and get here, Wing, a spin-off from Google, received FAA certification to begin testing drone deliveries in the US. The company has been testing its service in Australia and now wants to bring its service to a slightly less inhospitable area, southwestern Virginia, which is great because that means people in southwestern Virginia finally have a reason to live there. Thanks, Wing. And that is going to do it for today's Digit Daily. If you'd like to learn more about any of these stories, check out the links in the show notes and subscribe to our daily newsletter on digit.com. And if you like what you heard, subscribe, leave a review, and don't forget to tell your friends about digitdailypod.com. Once again, I'm Adam Dowd, Dead Technology on Twitter, and we'll talk again tomorrow.